It was the last day of school before summer, and everything was supposed to be normal, just the usual end-of-year chaos and excitement. I was already planning my summer, thinking about all the lazy days ahead. But that day, everything changed, and my view of our quiet little school would never be the same. The morning started oddly quiet. As I walked down the halls, I noticed that the usual noise of chatting students was replaced by an unsettling silence. It felt as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. Even the teachers seemed tense, casting nervous glances at the closed classroom doors as they hurried past. During lunch, the sky outside turned dark, as if a storm was brewing. But there was no forecast of rain. The cafeteria was dimly lit, the overhead lights flickering every few minutes. I sat with my friends, trying to make light conversation, but the unease was palpable. Suddenly, the lights went out completely, plunging us into darkness. The emergency lights flickered on, casting eerie shadows across the room. A scream echoed through the halls, shattering the silence. Everyone froze. Teachers rushed out of the cafeteria, urging us to stay put. After what felt like an eternity, the lights came back, but the screaming didn't stop. It was coming from the direction of the science labs. A group of us, led by a mix of curiosity and fear, decided to check it out. As we approached, the temperature seemed to drop, and the air felt heavy, as if charged with static. The science lab door was ajar, creaking softly. Pushing it open, we peered inside. The room was in chaos, chairs overturned, papers scattered. And there, in the middle of the room, lay Mr. Henderson, our biology teacher. He was pale, his eyes wide open in terror, but it was clear he was no longer alive. His body was surrounded by a circle of salt, and strange symbols were scribbled on the whiteboard in what looked like blood. The sight was horrifying, and we stumbled back, gasping. Just then, the lights flickered and went out again. In the darkness, we heard whispers, unintelligible at first, then growing louder, forming words in a language we couldn't understand. The air grew colder, and I felt an unseen force brush past me. Panicking, we ran from the room, not stopping until we reached the safety of the crowded cafeteria. The school was evacuated shortly after, with police and ambulances arriving. We were told it was a chemical incident, but the whispers among the teachers suggested something more sinister. No one spoke of what was written on the board or the circle of salt. It was as if pretending nothing strange had happened would make it true. As I left the school grounds, I looked back at the building. It no longer seemed like the school I knew. It was a shadow, a place of unknown horrors, secrets cloaked in the guise of an ordinary high school. And though they said it was safe, I knew I would never set foot in there again. Not after what I'd seen, not after the chilling realization that some doors, once opened, might unleash things that were meant to be left undisturbed.